I wish someone would have told me that when I started to meditate. It would have made literally everything so much easier. And as far as I know, not much has changed in that regard since the time that I started to learn meditation. Everybody immediately goes to observe your breath, without getting this straight first. This is all about... I know this may sound silly, but I'm actually absolutely serious. In this video, I will speak about the reasons, the variations, and the benefits of sitting correctly for formal meditation. Most people intuitively sit down and cross their legs just when they hear the word meditation, almost as if that was the appropriate reaction to some kind of command. Silence! But this position usually is not the most comfortable, at least not for people in the West. In the West, most people are way more comfortable, and it feels way more natural for them to sit in a chair or lie down, which are both totally legitimate meditation positions. What ended up happening for me before I put more attention to this detail of the practice is that I ended up struggling way less with my mind than actually with my body and posture. In the beginning, I would try to micro-correct and I would try to macro-correct, and at this point I've basically had halfway given up through the session and would just carry on the strain and the pain until the end of it, not very motivated to sit again. Which does not need to be the case. This does not need to be so hard. Yes, at some point of your practice you can sit through the discomfort, but I do not believe that this should be your focus when you are trying to get into or learn meditation. A restless body produces a restless mind, and sitting correctly will not do any harm, but only help your practice and probably beyond that. Sitting cross-legged is probably the most common position for meditation, and there are reasons for that. So even if it's not comfortable for you yet, there might be benefits in learning how to sit that way. And there's one hack to master it, which I will get back to in a second. First, I would like to show you my favorite alternative: sitting on your knees. Generally speaking, you never have to sit on a hard surface. That's your choice. You can put a yoga mat underneath your feet or your bum. You can sit in the grass, really whatever you like. What I generally don't recommend is sitting on a mattress on your bed, just because they tend to be too soft, you sink in and you just have a hard time balancing. It costs you a lot of effort and just distracts you. Sitting on your knees is as simple as it sounds. You kneel down, thighs together, toes touch, heels apart, the bum goes on top of your calves and heels. If you feel any discomfort, twitching, itching, whatever it is, see if you can gently wiggle it out, and then try to sit upright and straight. And that's it. And the reason I personally like this position so much is because sitting straight and upright feels so natural and effortless. Whereas sitting cross-legged, I very often find myself in a fight for balance. I'm either sinking in or I'm leaning forward, but I don't really find a good balance. And that's the key to good meditation posture. You don't want to sit too relaxed and sink into the seat because you will at some point fight the urge to actually fall asleep, but you also don't want to sit too uptight. That will ultimately just strain yourself and is not very sustainable, especially for longer meditations. Funny enough, both of those kind of cause back pain. They will cause back pain. Again, sitting too lax will make your mind drift off, and sitting too uptight will only strain your mind. A restless body produces a restless mind. The key is to strike a good balance. Now, with all the context established, this is our next and probably the easiest meditation position: sitting in a chair. It really is what it sounds like. You sit down on a chair, rest your back against the seat, feet grounded, hands you can put on your lap or on your knees. And yeah. This is also all around the world a fairly common practice for older meditation practitioners, to either sit in a chair or rest their back against the wall. So again, there's nothing wrong and everything right about this meditation position, as long as you're not sitting like a Schlauch. So why is lying down not the easiest position? Two reasons. First, it is really easy to fall And second reason, for some people it's just not that easy to lie down relaxed. If you lay down flat on your back, make sure that the shoulders actually touch the ground. Don't overextend the neck as I'm doing right now because I'm talking to you, but slightly tuck the chin. Bring your legs apart until it feels natural. Let the feet fall to the side. arms wide, a little bit wider, not super wide, but maybe a little bit wider than you think. Palms face up, shoulders relax down. Alternatively, you can place one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly, and voila, Shavasana. Let me confess something to you. I can't sit cross-legged. Not like this. So here's what I did to fix it. Whoops, got a pillow. This is a meditation pillow, but it does not need to be a meditation pillow. It can be any pillow you want, or it can be pillows, and you can just fold them down so you can sit a little bit up higher. Once you do that, you scoot a little bit forward until your knees naturally slide and sink to the ground. You may notice that when you sit higher, it will be way easier to sit up straight, and it will feel way more natural and way more effortless. Regarding your legs, you can cross them in whatever way you like. You don't necessarily need to cross them. You can do what I do, which is kind of a half-ass, half-lotus. You can do a real half-lotus or a full lotus, which I can't do, and which is why I'm not showing it to you. But whatever position your legs are in, it will not influence your practice. Again, the key is to be balanced, relaxed, and attentive. Just like you want your mind to be like. But why would you even try to sit cross-legged when you don't need to? The short answer is because it's the most accessible. You don't always have a chair around, you don't always have props around. Not every ground is even or exactly inviting to lay down, and then there's the whole falling asleep issue that I mentioned. But sitting on your bum kind of always works, wherever you are. I also noticed that the more I sit in a particular position, the more I get used to it. And especially with cross-legged sitting, my hip flexibility improved a lot with time. So now when I sit without a pillow, I also sit better cross-legged, if that communicates what I'm trying to say here. Then there was also the issue of my legs falling asleep after 10 minutes or so, or one of my ankles usually would start to hurt because of the shins crossing all the time. By now, they don't. I can sit for an hour or longer and it doesn't really bother me. Every time I try a new meditation position, there's also a feeling of restlessness, just a little bit, because it's new, I guess, but that also goes away after 5 or 10 times sitting that way. Like everything else, you get used to it. In a way, you can say by training your body, you are also training your mind. And ultimately, the goal is to not need any formal meditation posture at all, but to integrate meditation not only into movement, but into daily life. And that requires patience and practice. I hope you found something helpful in this video, and if there are any particular questions, please drop them in the comments. But before you leave, I might have a little challenge for you. If you like, maybe try the next time you sit down for meditation a new sitting position, even if it's just folding a pillow and sitting on that instead of on the ground. And do this for the next week, 3 times or so. And then next week, change the sitting position again. And next week, you do this again until you've tried all the sitting positions that seem interesting to you. If you are not yet sure which sitting position is the most comfortable and natural to you, this is a great way to actually find it out. And it is a great excuse to sit down and meditate. It is a great excuse to actually sit down and do the practice. And if you don't know whether you should do guided meditations or sit in silence all on your own, maybe we can talk about this next time. Until then, keep it up, and I see you.